alt-country pioneers, the old 97's, have been around for over 2 decades. And frontman Rhett Miller's been writing songs for over 3 decades. But, sitting right across from him, you couldn't tell that he's been in the game that long. Because he looks 25. But also because he carries himself with a kind of sneaky effervescence that most grizzled road dogs don't. Doubly so when they're coming to do an interview early in the morning while in the middle of a tour, like he was. We talk about why exactly that is in this conversation, but things start out me being absolutely transfixed by his boyish good looks. I mean, seriously. Every time I see you, I feel like you look younger.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I don't know if you get that a lot, and I feel like that might also be kind of maybe like condescending.
No. I'll take it. I'm 45 years old, so yeah, anything nice, I'll take it.
Man, you have been around a long time. Now that definitely sounds bad.
Right? No, it's true. It's really true.
Well, go ahead.
No, I got these 2 kids now, and it's weird to watch them. That's what suddenly makes me feel old.
How old are they?
12 and 9.
Yeah, I mean, that's enough to make you feel old because, you can't, that's the point where 12,
he's one of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost like a little adult.
Very much. He told me how an 8th grade girl and a 7th grade boy got suspended the other day. I said, why? He goes, well, during the band concert, they snuck off in the bathroom and she was his you-know-what. And I'm like, wow, I didn't think you knew what. And apparently you do.
Did he say more than just you-know-what?
Oh, he said you-know-what. And then my daughter stuck her fingers in her ears. La, 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 la. It was horrible.
So he knows what that is, and she knows that she shouldn't know what that is.
It's just too much. It's all too much.
I mean, how does that feel being like a rock and roll dude?
It's okay. I know it's coming. I just need to make them good, kind, smart people that'll make good decisions and be kind to other people,
Okay, so, no, that's fair.
And then I trust them to do it, because I can't live their lives, I wish I could. Well, I don't wish I could. It's horrible being a kid.
I mean, though, having kids that age, after living the life of I guess you could say a rock star of sorts.
Yeah, what passes for one in the teens.
Yeah, sure, yeah. It's I don't know. It seems like there might be some sort of a disconnect there at some point when you realize, I am raising people that might not necessarily do all of the things that I want them to do, and might seem the example that I have set in the past.
Exactly. Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird, because in the songs, all of that gets amplified anyway, and so it sounds a lot worse than it really is. But I think they know the truth more than they believe what's in the songs. We'll see.
Oh, so it's just a hope. It's a hope that they do.
I think so. I think so. They know that anything really gnarly happened way in the past. So.
But though they still do know that there's that kind of thing laying around, though.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the songs I've got 10 records of songs about getting wasted and making poor decisions. So, yeah.
Do they actually listen to the music? I mean, have your kids heard most of your records?
It's been on. They're not into it. They don't. They ask us to turn it off when it's on. Or if I'm playing guitar, they walk up and put their fingers across the strings and go, "Shh, no, Dad, no. Please stop." Like, some people pay for this, guys. You're getting it for free.
Maybe that's the problem. When you give it away, people don't want it.
Yeah, the value. Create a perception of value.
Now we're getting into some real heady space.
Yeah.
Like you said, though, you've got 10 records. You've been at it for a long time. I mean, does it still feel, apart from being a dad, does it feel like you're still in the middle of it, or does it feel like maybe you're over it? You know what I mean?
Oh, the whole concept of releasing music and being driven to create things. It's a weird thing that happens after, I don't know what the number is, but after a certain number of records, you look at this catalog and you go, is this enough? I mean, have I written enough songs now? Is the world satisfied with my required output? And the answer is no. It's got to be no, because otherwise, then what do? I can't just be dad to some kids. You know, I need to have some purpose beyond that. And I love it. I really love it. I just sat down with Ryan from Guster and wrote a song today, and it's a really sweet song. It's kind of sentimental. It's definitely a look back at a first love kind of a song, and you know, that's what happens though when you get a little older. You suddenly get perspective, whereas before you're just in the eye of the storm, and all you can see is the storm, and that's all you see. It's like the fish swimming in water, and the one fish says it's the David Foster Wallace quote, and the one fish says the water's warm, and the other fish goes, "What's water?" You know, so when you're young, you just don't know. That's just your life. It's a maelstrom, and now you look back and go, "Wow, wasn't that a beautiful maelstrom?"
I'll have more of my conversation with Rhett Miller of the Old 97's in just a bit. But first, here's a track the band recorded live in our studios, The Other Shoe.
We're going to play a song for you off a very old record of ours. Came out on Bloodshot Records about 72 years ago.
1972.
One old brown shoe falls in slow motion, and the bed springs hover right above your head, as bed springs do when you're beneath them. Someone else just climbed into your bed. By the time she thought you probably got to Phoenix, she'd arranged for your shoes to be filled. You've got your pride and a blue steel 45. You waited for the other shoe to fall, and you're waiting for the other shoe to fall. You dig a double grave out in the meadow, and you'll curse the rain, it turns the dirt to mud. You'll take 35 south towards Laredo, and you'll try to find a doctor that'll prescribe an elixir that'll make everything better except your late wife and her lover. By the time she thought she probably got to Phoenix, she'd sealed her fate and got it herself killed. You've got your pride and a blue steel 45. You waited for the other shoe to fall. You waited for the other shoe to fall. And you waited for the other shoe to fall.
It's The Other Shoe from the Old 97's, recorded live in our studios. When we get back from the break, you'll find out about frontman Rhett Miller's transcendental past, and you'll get another track from the band. It's the guest list.
You filthy criminals.
I'm Sean Cannon. It's the guest list. Here's the rest of my conversation with the Old 97's ageless frontman, Rhett Miller. Well, if you weren't making music, do you think that maybe you'd be over it? Or tired? Not necessarily over it, but, you know, like, do you think that you wouldn't be as active of a listener and an appreciator of music if it wasn't for the fact that you're still actually doing it?
Oh yeah, totally. And that's sort of what I'm saying. It's like the songs that I know now are songs that I know by necessity or by proximity. I'm not great at going out and seeking out new music. I'm terrible at it. And it's interesting now having kids that are, you know, sentient beings, because they're really aware of pop culture. And suddenly I'm finding out about music that is popular that I never would have heard about. And some of it it's interesting to me. I mean, obviously, most of it's terrible. By definition, popular music has usually been terrible. I think there was a time when pop music really meant something amazing. But now there's whatever. We can talk about why it's gotten so bad. Probably because of the cynical nature of our society and the fact that corporations have dumbed the populace down to the point where what we want is stupid crap. But that said, there's some really great stuff out there that I've stumbled upon. I mean, I know that at this point, pretty much everybody in the world loves Courtney Barnett. But when I first heard, Avant Gardener, I was like, that's beautiful. That's great. That's what I want. Something that seems really honest and from the heart and warts and all. And, we live in a world where perfection is a goal, if not the goal, of people who are making music. And that's such a false concept. I mean, there's no such thing. The only thing perfect is the thing that's flawed and honest and real. And that's what I really love about Courtney's stuff.
Sleeping late, another day. Oh, what a wonder. Oh, what a waste. It's a Monday. It's so mundane. What exciting things will happen today.
Right, it's that idea that what's perfect is letting it be what it is.
Yeah.
Regardless of what that means.
Yeah, there is no algorithm that's going to say, there is no Pro Tools grid that's going to show you when a song is perfect. You're just going to know because it affects you in a certain way. If the kick drum is always exactly on the grid, that does not mean it's perfect. In fact, 99 out of 100 times it means it's not.
It means that you've tried so much that you just suck all of the energy completely out.
Calculation is the murderer of soul.
That's good.
Thanks. I just made it up.
That's good. That's not a David Foster Wallace quote either.
It's just me.
I mean, that's a big part of it, though, when I think about, like, your music in general, is that it's always felt, and this is going to sound weird, like intentionally uncalculated.
Yeah.
That seems counterintuitive. But I mean, it feels that way. Is that a stated goal for you? Because it sounds like it probably is. Like, let's try to strip everything away from this. Let me just sort of maybe get down to the lizard brain or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you have to do.
Well, I started when I was 13 writing songs, 15 playing gigs, 17 making records, and I learned early on, because there's something, you can write a song and in your room you can convince yourself that it sounds good, but when you play it in front of people, it's not even their reaction. It's the self-awareness that happens while you're playing it for them. Oh man, this song is failing, or this song is succeeding, and really, when you're trying super hard or you're being something other than yourself, the song is going to fail. There's no way. It's like I think of the Chinese finger trap, where you put your two index fingers in the woven Chinese whatever device, and when you pull on it, your fingers won't come out. But if you gently extricate your finger without trying, and it's a whole Buddhist thing. If you try, you fail. If you think about meditating, you're not meditating. If you have no thought at all, then you are. Anyway, I learned early on that the only way for me to succeed as a songwriter or performer or whatever was just to go out there and try to not try, and just to be what I am, and hopefully then whatever I had to bring to the world would come through and reach people and seem honest to them.
So are you into like meditation or Buddhism or Eastern? I mean, you're talking about that in a way that sounds like you might actually have a clue what it means, as opposed to most people who just.
When after my folks got divorced when I was a teenager, my mom wanted a partner in learning transcendental meditation. So we went to. We were both inducted into TM. Which was so funny. I just remember a house that smelled like chutney and, these kind of hippie folks in North Dallas. But it was beautiful. They gave me a mantra that I've still never told anyone to this day, which is a Sanskrit sound that you sort of repeat as a way of clearing your mind. And then they guided me through a few meditations. And I think they told me at least that I was a natural at it. I don't know if they were just flattering me, but it really felt natural to me to go into a space of no thought. And one of the things I really loved was that they tell you ahead of time, if you're aware of what's happening, then you're not in the goal state is a state called the unified field, which is a state of no thought. If you're aware of anything, you're not in the unified field. So the weird thing is, if you've reached the ultimate place of meditation, you're there without knowing you're there, and you only realize it after you've emerged from that state. Wow, I think I was in it, and it's a really beautiful thing. And my mind, like a lot of people in my profession, and probably just like a lot of people, my mind goes and goes and goes and goes. And there's a lot of anxiety and insecurity and everything, and positive stuff too, excitement, all kinds, negative and positive. And so to have moments where you can clean it all out and just have, mindfulness, just exist. It's rare and it's beautiful, and I've tried to incorporate it into my life since then.
So how does your music flow out of that? Because I know some people use, especially TM, as sort of like this wellspring of creativity. But then I know other people who it's kind of disconnected from, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the TM helps separately, and it's funny, at this point I don't even think of it as TM, because I just think that's one of the many ways people get to a place where their brain stops for a second. Music to me has always been that. Like I'll sit down with a guitar and an hour's gone and I don't know what happened. I just was playing through these chords. I had some ideas for these lyrics. Maybe I wrote them down. Maybe they just came and went. So yeah, music has always been super meditative for me. It's just it's an escape, it's that moment where none of the other stuff matters. I don't think about in the best moments, and sometimes I fail, but I don't think about what I'm, if I'm good, if I'm not good, all those judgments fall away, and I'm just playing my guitar and making music, or even listening to music. And yeah, definitely, it's related somehow to meditation.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's parallel to it, not an extension of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're like they're cousins, different ways of clearing out all the baloney.
No, I mean, that's a really interesting approach, particularly because, the music that you make is somewhat rowdy and not necessarily contemplative in nature.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't mean lyrically necessarily, but it's just the vibe that that you've always gone for is a little more raucous than that.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I feel like the world needs joy more than it needs introspection, or more than it needs, to just linger on the idea that we're mortal and all this stuff. Like, I get it, we all get it, but we're here now, so let's try and be together and celebrate just this moment. And yeah, I love that. I love being in a room full of people who are having fun. And so if I write a bunch of songs, about mortality, or if I write songs that are, sad, just sound sad. Like, I mean, yeah, the song might be about mortality, but I definitely don't want you to know it until the 6th time you listen to it, because you're having so much fun the first 5 times.
Has that always been like has that always been something that you've tried to do, or is that an approach that you sort of came into?
Well, it was trial and error. Like, I remember somebody just posted on YouTube these clips from 1990 and 93 of a Sleepy Heroes gig, which was my band with Murray before the 97's, a 3-piece power pop band. And then the old 97's, like one of our very first ever gigs. And it was just, we were so young and it was so sweet, but it was already all there. I mean, it was just us doing what we do. And but in the earliest gig, the one from when I was 19, I think, there was a song called something about America, and it was this really like heartfelt song, and it was so earnest and trying so hard to be important. And I remember every time I would sing that song, I would just feel like, oh, God. I think that people that write songs that are important, I think that they get there accidentally. I don't think that they're deciding to write an important song. I think that's the kind of song they're good at writing. The observations they make about life fall into that category. I just realized it wasn't for me. And I think the songs that I write best are songs that capture tiny little moments between people. And maybe they highlight the awkwardness and maybe the unintentional comedy of those moments. And then maybe behind that comedy is sort of the need for people to connect and the need for people to make sense or even, make joy or make love out of the darkness.
How long have you been cognizant of that mission for yourself?
I mean, I don't know if I always would have been able to put words to it very much, but I do remember even back from being 18 and 19 and the songs that I knew were failures was because I was, doing something other than that. And the songs that I knew succeeded, that people wanted to hear, that I wanted to play, that touched people, that worked, those songs were the ones that kind of did that thing, which to me at the time seemed so little. Like, oh, you're going to write a song about, you're trying to hit on a girl at the bar and she's cynical and you go home with her anyway, and then you're laying in bed and you're realizing that it was just like those tiny little moments, they seemed so frivolous to me at the time, but I knew that they had more importance to me and maybe to the world because I think there was answers secreted within those tiny little moments. Can that word, or secreted? Because secreted means you ooze something.
Right. Well, I guess the moments could ooze something. But that's not safe for your kids, so we won't talk about that just in case.
You know what? Yeah.
That's all of my conversation for today with Rhett Miller, the old 97's. But before we get out of here this week, I've got another track from the band recorded here in our studios.
We're going to send you off with a little song about a young lady named Doreen. It goes like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4! First met Doreen, she was barely 17. She was drinking whiskey sours in a bar. Oh yeah, the way she tossed them back, I would have had a heart attack. Oh, but as it is, I let her drive my car. Oh well, we galloped through the burrows like a pair of horny thoroughbreds. Till I said, stop the car, Doreen. Didn't roll your eyes and nod, but I swear that I saw God in the moonlight on a side street in the wreckage we call Queens. Doreen, Doreen. Last night I had an awful dream. You were laying in the arms of a man I'd never seen. Come clean, Doreen. Oh, come clean, Doreen. Kid the thing. To Cleveland in a 7-seater tour van. Well, there's 8 of us. I'm sleeping on the floor. Oh yeah, the guy that plays the banjo keeps handing me the old crow. Multiplies my sorrow. Can't take it anymore. Doreen, Doreen. Last night I had an awful dream. You were laying in the arms of a man I'd never seen. Come clean, Doreen. Oh, come clean, Doreen. Philip! I'm bleeding, there's a Fina off the highway with a phone. Oh yeah, I'm calling you Doreen, but it rings and rings and rings. Where is it that you are? You are in our bed at home. Doreen, Doreen. Last night I had an awful dream. You were laying in the arms of a man I'd never seen. Complete, Doreen, oh complete. Oh Doreen.
That's Doreen, live in the studio from the old 97's, closing out this week's show admirably.